Hi dear students, in this special series on subject-wise strategy, we are going to identify all the important topics that you must keep in mind before you start working on a subject. We'll be looking at the trend for each subject and then mapping it to all the tasks in the app so that you can prepare better and score better. In this video, we will look at the preparation strategy for dental materials. Now, as you know, dental materials is a volatile subject. It comes with a lot of fact-based questions. When it comes to clinical applications also, it can get a little tricky. It has a lot of overlap with prostho, cons, some amount of ortho. But the major challenging part with dental materials is the composition, the reactions, the properties, the definitions, and more or less all the processes also that come with dental materials are difficult to remember. So in order to get a clarity on what topics are important, this video will help us identify these topics. But before we move on to allocating questions to specific topics, let's see how much is the weightage of dental materials. So over the past few years, the consistency of questions from dental materials has been quite smooth. On an average, 14 questions are expected out of 240 in dental materials. So let's look at these questions and assign them to the topics. First question is sequence of polymerization. So that is from dental polymers. Then we have an image-based question on Munsell system. Next question, filler in alginate, diatomaceous earth. Then we have the definition of latent heat of fusion. Next question, dental stone which exhibits least expansion is type 4. Flux is used to remove oxides. Find the correct statement of the following cements arranged in ascending order of their solubility. Question on cements. So these are the kind of questions that can get a little difficult to answer because you need to know the properties of all cements, the advantages, disadvantages. So make sure your preparation is on point with regards to dental materials, right? Disinfection with chloride-based compounds is not possible in ZOE. The passivity of stainless steel is due to formation of chromium oxide. Type 2 and type 4 gold alloys fuse with which type of ceramic alloys? High fusing ceramics. Excess water in alginate impression causes rough cast. Then a question on inlay wax, which is softened over a Bunsen burner, bent in a horseshoe shaped and put inside a bowl of water kept in room temperature. After 24 hours, it will return to its original shape. Expansion of investment material is useful because it compensates for casting shrinkage. Now, at any point of time, if you feel that the question is not easy for you, if you want more knowledge or if you want to understand the answer better, you can always look at the options which are explained in the explanation. Now, let's see how this explanation is. It will talk about the correct option. It will talk about the incorrect options, why they are incorrect, and it will come with a key concept. A key concept will give you a more concise knowledge of that topic. And of course, you can also watch video explanations. They are very interesting, informative. They will give you a lot of parallel knowledge with regards to that topic. And they will also help you understand all the other possible type of questions and how to eliminate the negative options, right? So make sure MCQ videos are on your top list. Next question. HEMA is essential component of primer in adhesive systems. It is said that it affects monocytes. Which of the following is least affected by strain hardening, elastic modulus, physical property? Alginate sets fast due to hot water. Mixing of two different monomers will give you a copolymer. That's dental polymers. Function of rosin in ZOE is to act as an accelerator. Green strength is other name for wedge strength of a gypsum cast. Identify the structure marked. It's a reservoir from casting. Factor to be considered for selection of investment material is the melting point of the alloy. Discoloration of self-cure resin is due to oxidation of amine. So that's prosthetic polymers. Least excess water is present in dental stone and high strength. Which among the following is the best abrasive material? Silicon. The term pycnometry is related to study of density, again mechanical properties. Most aesthetic is lithium disilicate, glass ceramic. A male patient had come to prostho department for his partial denture. Impression was taken by the lab assistant, dental assistant. The technician was asked to pour the impression. He was asked to make the impression conductive. What is being done? Metallizing the impression. Next. Terminology which is used to describe the stretch or elongation of a body is called tensile stress, physical property. Resilience, the definition of resilience, another physical property. Next question, dentine bonding agent has a hydrophilic and hydrophobic component. Then the strength of gypsum bonded investment material is provided by gypsum itself. A dentist tries to prepare wax try-in using base plate wax in tropical area. In tropical area, you will use type 3 base plate wax. So that's a question on dental waxes. All of the following statements regarding self-cure as compared to heat cure. Difference between self-cure and heat cure very important. Okay, this table in the key concept, make sure that you go through this thoroughly. Polymers, okay. The process of making the impression material to conduct electricity is called metallizing. This is a repeat question. Earlier we had a case like a clinical situation on the same topic. As the intensity increases, the hue perception changes. This is known as Bezold-Brooke effect. Then this very popular graph from Phillips. Identify the material based on their property. Go through all the properties for elastomers in detail. Next question, 18-8 steel is composed of 18 chromium and 8 nickel. Then argon is important for titanium welding. Identify the element added to stainless steel to increase its stability, titanium. Curing an acrylic denture at a temperature above 100 degrees will lead to porosity in thicker lingual areas and thicker palatal areas. Explanation talks about all the concepts with regards to temperature rise in acrylic. You can go through the explanation, the key concept, and also the video explanation. Next question, what happens when gypsum is mixed with boiling water? The reaction does not take place. That's gypsum. Most common theory of setting of gypsum, again, dissolution precipitation theory. So as you can see in the same year, you will have multiple questions also from the same topic, right? So there is a question on gypsum mixing, gypsum theories, and then gypsum bonded investment. Pickling is done using 50% HCl. In a deep carious lesion, liner is placed under zinc phosphate base during restoration for the following. This allows protection from low pH of cement. This question can also fit in conservative dentistry because this is a clinical question. If the CTE or the contraction of a restoration does not match with the tooth, which of the following will be affected? The marginal integrity of the restoration. That's thermal properties. Which of the following occurs due to hydrogen gas released in addition silicon? There will be pinpoint porosities on the cast. Now this porosity is different from casting defects, okay, but you can easily get confused. What will happen to gypsum if palladium is not added to addition silicon? It will affect the surface details because hydrogen will be released. Zinc oxide is mixed with which of the following components in zinc phosphate cement? Aluminum phosphate. What is the contact point between two materials called when they glide over each other? It's called asperities. Then we have the Vita 3D Master Shade Guide, and what is the selection of shade sequence to record? Value, chroma, hue. That is according to the manufacturer. The type of gold used for 4-unit bridge to replace a second premolar and first molar with first premolar and second molar as abutment. 4-unit bridge, type 4. Then die-core ceramic is an example of castable ceramic. These are all the different commercially available ceramic systems, and you can have more questions on these. These are very popular in the current practice. So I would recommend that you go through these in detail. Silver bar in silver plating acts as anode. What will be the contents of electrolyte solution during silver plating? Similar question, silver cyanide. Modulus of elasticity or tensile strength of brittle materials is measured by diametral compression test, physical properties. Then the ratio of transverse contraction strain to longitudinal extension strain in the direction of stretching force is known as Poisson's ratio, direct definition. So go through all the definitions because there can be a lot of direct questions. You don't need to remember the definition per se, but just look for keywords in the definition and connect them to the keyword, okay? Clinical appearance of GIC is dictated by the chemical composition. Type 1 GIC is luting. Remember all the different types of GIC. Copper content of single composition alloys is 13 to 30%. Fact question from casting alloys. Fluoride flux used in soldering works by preventing formation of chromium oxide or dissolves already formed chromium oxide. Hysteresis is seen as a Sol-Gel phenomenon, is dependent on temperature. Metal oxides are added to powder of porcelain. They give color and increase the strength. Compressive strength is used to measure the strength of gypsum products. What is the effect of addition of an accelerator or a retarder to gypsum cast? It changes the compressive strength by decreasing it. For obtaining harder dyes to be used for making wax pattern, all of the following can be done. Gold plating is not done for hardening. Next question. When a gypsum investment is heated above 700 degrees Celsius, the calcium sulfate degrades, which is not good for gold casting. Nodule on an intaglio surface of a casting can be prevented by. Casting defects are very important. So you must spray a surfactant on the wax pattern before investing. Then the next question is coefficient of thermal expansion of inlay wax. Factual question on waxes. But that's an important question, okay? Remember the value. What is seen when a wire is bent below its elastic limit and is released? It's called spring back, ortho. Which of the following is formed by spray atomization and chemical precipitation of molten gold, granular gold? When alginate is mixed with tap water having high calcium sulfate and magnesium, it accelerates the rate of reaction. So it will set faster. Which of the following components of flux helps in removal of passivating layer? Fluoride. Similar question, but it was switched. Okay. Brinell hardness number is directly proportional to the tensile strength. The type of porosity seen in rapid solidification is microporosities. Another question on casting defect. Gas entrapment within the mold leads to pack pressure porosity. Which property of composite is most affected by the size and number of fillers? Polymerization, shrinkage. Diluent used in BIS GMA composite is TEG DMA. Which of the following shows polymerization by ring opening? Silurane. Cementation failure of a prosthesis cemented with zinc polycarboxylate. So that occurs at the cement and prosthesis interface. This is the explanation to understand why there are prosthetic failures with cementation of zinc polycarboxylate, and the video explanation is attached. High fusing ceramic according to classification of porcelain, straightforward. Transformation toughening of zirconia occurs due to change in phases from tetragonal to monoclinic. You can expect more questions on zirconia and its phase structures because it's a popular topic in prosto currently. What will happen when a stone cast is kept above 90 degrees? Contraction due to conversion of dihydrate to hemihydrate. Then rhomboid indenter in noob hardness test. Rigidity is maximum with which material for major connector? Cobalt chrome alloys, also an RPD question. And last question is which investment shows high contraction due to loss of water and alcohol? Silicate bonded investment materials. Right, so that's an investment material question. Now let's look at the summary of what we have achieved so far. So physical and mechanical properties 9 questions and other properties 5 questions. That's a total of 14 questions in 6 exams. So 2 questions per exam come from mechanical properties. A lot of questions on gypsum products and impression materials. Then we have casting and casting alloys, and lesser questions. No questions from amalgam surprisingly, but it's an outdated concept. So material wise you may not expect a lot of questions. Go through the basics, of course. You will expect a lot of clinical questions in operative dentistry. So make sure that you are doing that correctly. And polymers also a few questions here and there. More on self-cure, heat cure differences and their properties. So based on this approach, the next step should be to start preparing these topics one by one. For that, you have access to tasks in the app. So when you look at the tasks in the app under dental materials, you will find all the topics in one place. And then you start preparing one by one. So suppose if you want to do impression materials, you click on prepare and then you will see all the impression materials in one place. The next step is to prepare from bites, workbooks and videos. So you look at all the notes given in the workbook. It will come with a lot of illustrations, tables, flowcharts, and it's very easy to remember. Now fill up your workbook based on these notes. Also watch the video here. It will give you more understanding of the topic in detail, and it stays with you longer because you've watched and heard it, right? So after preparation, move on to the next step, that is practice question and then take test. Now it is necessary for you to take all the tasks seriously and then move on to the QBank. And now I will tell you how to maximize your preparation with Meritor's app. Now there are 5 things to keep in mind when you start your preparation for any subject at any given point of time. Number 1 is to start with tasks. Like I said, tasks are the building blocks. They are your foundation and fundamental for any subject. You need to start preparing for the task with the workbook. You must look at the video if you have any doubts regarding the topic, and then practice questions. And then you can take the test. Now, whenever you are taking a test or practicing questions, each question comes with the answer, explanation and key concept. The explanation will be elaborate. It will tell you everything that you need to know about the topic. It is a good source of taking down notes because a lot of additional questions can be asked from the existing explanations, right? And if you are well versed with the topic, you can just look at the key concept and reinforce the topic in your mind. Additionally, a lot of questions also come with multiple choice question videos, which are explanatory videos. They are going to talk about how to eliminate options, how to strategically focus on the question, and additional knowledge that comes with the topic. So your first aim should be to complete all these tasks for a given subject and then move on to the next thing, that is QBank. Now QBank or question bank is a collection of high yield extensive questions. They are clubbed together in topics. They are clubbed together chapter wise, and you will have more hands-on experience on difficult and extensive preparation on these questions. Again, they will come with explanatory videos, explanations and key concepts. So once your tasks and QBank for a given subject are complete, you are good to appear for the weekly checkpoint tests. Now the tests are of 2 types in the app. One is the weekly checkpoint test and self-paced test. I'll tell you about the weekly checkpoint test first. So suppose if you are preparing one subject over the week, then at the end of the week, you will have a test which is going to focus on that specific subject plus the subjects that were previously prepared, right? So that kind of snowballs the entire revision strategy. You will have a repeated encounter of multiple subjects from time to time. So you do not forget. It's easier to keep these topics in mind when you constantly see them. So the revision is reinforced. Plus you also get personalized AI recommendations, right? So at the end of your test, based on your performance, you will get how many questions you answered, what was the score, how much was the negative marking, where are you lacking, what are your stronger points, and then it will tell you how much time to dedicate for a revision of your weaker subjects. So with this strategy, you will be able to focus on specific areas that are your weaknesses. Now that is an exceptional feature of Meritor's app. And the next set of tests is self-paced test, which you can take at any given point of time. These are subject-wise tests. You can also have cumulative tests, multiple recall questions also incorporated in form of tests. And towards the end of your preparation phase, you will have a lot of volatile, factual, high-yield questions in form of final strokes, which are again specialized tests to be able to remember these topics clearly before the exam. Now, once you come closer towards the end of your preparation, you will have access to this special feature of the app called Marathon. This is activated towards the end of your preparation, where you will have 3,500 plus high yield questions. High yield questions meaning they have the chances to be seen in the exam, because either they are based on recall questions or because they are based on important concepts that are repeatedly seen in the exam. So when you practice these 3,500 plus questions, you will also enter an all India competition where you will get a fair idea as to how your performance is with comparison to your colleagues. It's a great boost of confidence if you take it at the right time. And lastly, we have the all famous national mocks, which is a pan India or all India nationwide simulation of NEET MDS exam. We conduct them towards the end of your preparation in a few months to go. And every weekend you will have access to this special test. You will see a lot of new questions in national mocks which are based on important topics. So do not miss national mocks because it gives you a good hands-on experience of the exam. It gives you an idea of time management because this is exactly according to NEET pattern, that is 240 questions and 3 hours with negative marking. So you kind of get a very fair and square idea of your performance because this is again an all India competitive mock exam, and you will get personalized AI recommendations here as well. Now they are more important for national mocks too because towards the end when you are revising, you will not know which subject to pick up at what time, and your performance in the national mock will be assessed thoroughly and you will get your AI recommendations which will tell you which subjects to revise. So make sure that you are making use of all of these features in the app. Now, apart from that, if there is any query that you have while solving your questions, if you have any doubts regarding any topics, you can always contact the faculty on the WhatsApp group. We are always here to help you. And I hope with this in mind, you will be able to channelize all your preparation strategy in the right direction. And I hope we'll be able to help you achieve your dream seat in MDS. Thank you so much and good luck from Team Meritors.